Okay, today's question is another question from Zana, second part. And it is, are there any strumming techniques for getting better at the inside strings? So again, not really 100% sure what that means, so I'm going to interpret it, but if I miss the mark, please feel free to let me know. What I think that means is having trouble accessing the inside strings when doing a strum. So I've seen this before in students through the years. And the issue really is because of one motion and also sort of one kinesthetic idea, one idea about what we actually do with the arm. So the motion issue is that they go out from the string like this. So if I go to strum, you see that even though my hand passed down through the strings, I didn't hit them all, right? So on the up, which generally on the up, we don't necessarily always want to go through all of them anyway. But the idea is on the down, a lot of times we want to hear the low to high really nicely. So the issue then is, why are we moving out? And that's because a lot of people, I think it's often because it's something we see. I mean, I learned to strum many years ago, and I remember, seeing people strum. Again, YouTube wasn't around at this time, but seeing people strum in person, and also on like concert videos and stuff like that. And it just looks like the arm is moving. But the problem is when we put our focus here, now we're really just sort of hammering this entire appendage. We're using the whole forearm and the hand and trying to get precise with the little pick like that. So as I talked about in my last video, using the opening up the elbow creates a larger range of motion. When we compound that with any sort of outward motion, now we're like trying to hit the strings, but not getting them. Right? You see how that first one actually, because that's my technique, I went down through them, right? And the only way I can actually get them on the way down, as I also talked about in my last video, is that compensating of the pick. So allowing the pick to flatten as it goes from string to string to string to string to string to string. That's how it doesn't get stuck, right? So that's the idea there. So at this point, what I would be saying is, when you strum, right, even if it's just the open strings that are muted like this, which is really good for it, because a lot of people, when they try to play a chord and test it, they'll just hit the whole thing with a big downstroke. So it can be really helpful to just start doing some string separation work like that, hearing all the strings like that. Again, start nice and light, nice and gentle, down through, right? And then sort of the other thing is, like, when we're actually strumming, doing rhythms, especially if we're doing anything faster, is to add more rotation in. So what that does is this stabilizes the arm, and I can access my inside strings this way, right? So even if I lock my elbow, you can see that I have the range of motion. Now, I don't totally recommend locking the elbow, because if you want that sort of good strength, or you want to sort of come out from the underside of the string a little bit for a little bit of a lighter upstroke, right? Otherwise, everything's sort of like real harsh and real loud as we start to go through it. But I would start with just getting the experience of a rotation, as if you're opening up a doorknob. So, and opening and closing, really. So twisting a doorknob in both directions, right? This is both the motion of pronation and supination in the arm. So we're pronating and we're supinating, supinating, right? And you should be able to hear all the strings. And it's nice, you can do this with the left hand off the guitar, or you can just mute the strings, but you don't have to like keep a chord on and all that kind of stuff and kill your left hand, or your fretting hand if you're left-handed. You see as so then if I'm gonna do like some ups and I want to catch a few strings, you'll see that as I go up, I'll just sort of rotate away with the forearm to be able to just do the motion sort of freely and casually to catch those upper strings, but not get into the bass strings as well. right? But it's that rotation instead of actually moving, pivoting. You can see the shoulders involved in this, actually pivoting the shoulder out a little bit, which makes the pick very far away, right? If I just do that, I just tried to do it as little as I could, and I'm quite a few inches away from the strings, right? That's going to make it really difficult to get back to them accurately or to sort of keep any kind of momentum or motion going along. So hope that helps. If you have any questions about guitar or music, stop that. If you have any questions about guitar or music in general, feel free to send them to me and I'll make a video on it.